Last week we talked about overall player development. That episode is currently in our archives. But I had a follow-up question to that. After you and I ended the show, I kind of thought about this, and I wrote it down because I wanted to ask you about it. We talked about base swings on this show many, many times, and getting that foundation of the house of the swing, so to speak. That's kind of how I like to put it. But and I've said plenty of times on this show as well that I subscribe to the Elon Musk theory of learning the base of something and then taking it from there. The question I have for you, Ep, is it fair to say that what you mentioned last week when looking at TrackMan data, that looking at the framework of the swing and learning about a player's swing is by looking at the barrels and the hard hit exit velocity as the true metrics to understand and evaluate that hitter better at the professional level?
I think it comes down to, it definitely comes down to the evaluator. If I'm looking for somebody that can just hit, I'm looking at barrels. Like there's so many guys that have great mechanics. They have big, strong, athletic, but they don't find the barrel quite often.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also, usually those guys aren't gamers, right? There's a little bit of tension in there. There's a little bit of stress in there. And because of that, they get started sometimes too late, or they get started too early, or they're thinking about when to get started.
Mm-hmm.
And they miss the barrel. And there's certain guys that could just find a barrel and find a hit. So I definitely think, you could look at exit velocity and this and that, but guys that find the barrel more than others, right, are guys that are typically going to have a higher exit velocity because they're finding the sweet spot. And because of that, you can build in maybe some more strength. You can find that. There's a kid, it's totally off topic. One of my longtime online academy, these are the brightest kids ever, the Dang family. They're from Gainesville area. Smartest kids. I think everyone is going to Harvard already, and only one of them's in college. They're just, one of them didn't miss a question on his math portion of the SAT when he was like 14. Okay, so now that kid he's a stud hitter too. Like usually the brainy guys, they overthink, but this kid finds barrel. He went to this like high end showcase, and his dad keeps sending me stuff, and he's just hitting line drives all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Right, not a huge kid, but like Madrigal, just finds barrels, and that kid will always be able to hit. He will always be able to hit. Maybe he won't get big enough. Maybe he's not fast enough. Maybe he can't, play defense. But I know when he gets in the box, he's very relaxed.